Alright, you guys, another little quick fix around the house here. I figured I could maybe help someone out with both these faucets right here. The hookups for them was leaking. Small drip out the bottom of them. It actually got all that wet. I had to take this panel off of my wall here. It's behind the shower in a trailer. So maybe you guys got a similar trailer set up. That's where you would get to these to work on the mat. But these fittings right here, if you twist them off, a lot of times you just got a small drip coming from either the back side here or the front side of the bottom of it. Then you can just take these off. I would twist it off and show you, but yeah, the water's on now. But I just took some thread tape, plumber's tape, Teflon, whichever one you prefer to call it, and went through the threads on the pipe that comes out here that this twists upon, and you should be able to use your fingers on these little wings right here on them to twist them off and on with. I actually tightened them down a little bit with channel locks to be sure they weren't leaking again. And after, I'd went through the threads with thread tape, be sure you turn the thread tape when you put it on the same way as this will twist. So that way, as you twist it, it just makes it a tighter fit. And then that will actually make like a gasket in here for it. And it's like a super gasket, a gasket on steroids, you could call it. But it actually works a lot better than just a simple small gasket would, I think. And that's a simple fix you can do that will keep you from hiring a plumber. And possibly save you a buck or two on these fittings here, because it's one of those, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So just use a little Teflon, plumber's tape, thread tape, whichever one you prefer to call it. You might know it by one of those, but I have a bowl down here right now just kind of to see if we still got a drip in it, which I highly doubt it. I even torqued it down with some channel locks earlier today. If you're not familiar with what channel locks are, let me go in here and get a pair and show you just in case. You may need to know exactly what I'm talking about. Most people, do know what channel locks are, but, some people out there may not be too familiar if they're not used to doing these things themselves. But hopefully I can save those of you that may not be used to doing it for yourself a little bit of money in the future by just tuning into the channel and seeing just these simple things. This is channel locks. It's got the adjustment right here. You can actually open them up, and that allows you to adjust this part to where you can actually pull it and make it smaller here at the end. If you need to grip something the size of that in there, you would want to slide that piece there, just open it up, and then you can slide it up. If I could figure a way to get it and hold my camera too. But yeah, you can get it to slide and adjust here. I'm just going to open it. I can do it with one hand. And then it will, you see how it slides there. And you put it back, and then you got a bigger mouth on it. And it'll actually catch and hold tightly because the metal slots there that the backside of this goes into, the backside of this little thing here. And so yeah, that's the way those work. Pretty simple. Just open them all the way and it'll slide right back down. And as you can see, it went from the bottom slot to the top there and made it much smaller up here. So yeah, just for those of you out there that like to be able to do it for yourself, that's one way to do it. And here's that tape. I was talking about the thread tape, Teflon, plumber's tape. I've heard it called all those. So yeah, it's just a really, really thin plastic type material that will actually fit right down in those threads, small enough to not hinder it going back on. So yeah, that's what it looks like, just a little thin plastic material, and you just put that along the threads if I would have thought about it earlier while I was working on it, I would have went ahead and grabbed the camera and took some video in the process of fixing it and showed you guys firsthand. But, you know, I didn't think about it. I'm just merely a human being, so I do have a tendency to forget more often than I want to, of course. But yeah, just so I could hopefully help somebody out here. I can't want to get my tool bag zip back up. Okay, so you guys stay tuned. There will be more videos in the future on just little things around the house. Tomorrow, probably at the latest, I'm going to do a video on my washing machine stopped up. I'm going to clean the screen out on it, and I'll show you guys how that's done. See you next time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, please.